It gives me a great pleasure to talk amongst friends who are budding professional and something which I share with them. I also began my life in a professional life and of course tried to associate other things, social concerns along with that. Now today's topic, politics of intolerance, I will try to focus only on the events which have taken place during last 2 years in particular. I hope you recall that as this government came to power, and I refer to this Modi Sarkar coming to power in May 2014, since then some sort of a things related to intolerance went on at a very high pace. We remember that earlier one rationalist doctor in Bombay called Dr. Dabholkar, who was working for rationalism, who was working against blind faith to promote rationalism, he was murdered by some political elements. Later on we saw in our Maharashtra only, there was another social worker of great repute who wrote a lot about history, who was working amongst workers and whose mission was to promote rational thought, Comrade Pansare. He was also done to that. And after that, in Karnataka, another person, Professor M.M. Kalburgi, who was a rationalist, who was trying to promote the type of religion which is prevalent amongst the masses. Professor M.M. Kalburgi was also murdered. At the same time, you know, as this government comes to power, it tried to start a atmosphere of hatred based around the issue of beef eating. You will be surprised to know that in North India, in many states, earlier also, some Dalits, low caste people who were trying to skin a dead cow, they were murdered. Later on, when this government came to power, in Uttar Pradesh, one Muhammad Akhlaq was charged that you have got beef in your refrigerator. And there was a lynching by the mob, he was killed. Now this type of atmosphere which has been developing again got manifested in the recent events, and before that I would like to point out, when these things happened in succession, many of our great writers, artists, scientists, they started returning their awards. Why they returned the awards? They said that such type of atmosphere we have not seen in last so many years, so many decades. This is qualitatively a very different type of intolerance towards the weaker sections of society. Now that was of course attacked. The government did not take it seriously. They started criticizing these people who returned the awards on the ground that why did not you return the award at that time, etc., etc. Overall, people don't keep returning awards at the drop of the hat, not at every event. When something goes qualitatively different, people feel very sad, people feel depressed about the type of democratic norms which are prevailing, and that's how this whole what we call award return movement took place in the country. Now, on the heels of that, we see that in Chennai, IIT Chennai, there was Periyar Ambedkar Study Circle. They tried to snub that study circle. Of course, students agitated and they got that study circle restored. This study circle was basically talking of issues related to Dalits, downtrodden, issues related to democracy and human rights. Now, later on we saw a very tragic thing took place in the name of around Rohit Vemula. Rohit Vemula was a research scholar in Hyderabad Central University. Of course, he went through a lot of journey of intellectual thought, political understanding. Earlier, he was in some left organization. Later on, he went on to join Ambedkar Association, Students Ambedkar Association. And here, as a member of this association, they organized a lot of programs. What were these programs? These programs were related to showing the film called Muzaffarnagar Baki Hai. This film Muzaffarnagar Baki Hai dealt with the violence in Uttar Pradesh in which many innocent people got killed. Then they also organized Beef Festival. They also talked about that the Afzal Guru Yaqub Memon, the murder death punishment which was given was not correct. It is against the values of society, because society cannot give life to anybody. So what right society has to take the life of other? So if you want to give a punishment, you give life punishment. The death penalty as such should not be there. So now around these things, the local ABVP, I hope you know that ABVP is organization related to RSS. It is a student wing of RSS. So ABVP complained against it to the local BJP MP, who also happens to be minister in the central government. That MP minister, he wrote a letter calling the activities of students as casteist, as anti-national. Since then, the word anti-national is being used for anybody who disagrees with the ruling party. So this is a abuse of the word anti-national, which they are trying to create a hysteria, madness around this word, so they can punish those people who do not agree with that. Anyway, that minister wrote the letter to MHRD minister Smriti Irani. She in turn put pressure on the vice chancellor. Rohit Vemula was expelled from the hostel. His scholarship was stopped, and circumstances were created whereby he took his own life. Now this brought into force a big movement all over the country. People belonging to left ideology, people belonging to Ambedkar ideology, they started coming together and started protesting against the heavy-handedness of this government, this MHRD ministry, their attitude in the universities. They started protesting all over. You will realize that universities are a place for universal values. That's where students not only get degrees, but they also try to learn about society, and it is through this process of interaction that they develop their own ideas. Now when this took place, probably I feel in order to distract the attention of people from the agitation which developed around Rohit Vemula's killing, death, they tried to create something in GNU. I must tell you, probably GNU is the most prestigious university in the country. Many of the top bureaucrats, writers, scholars and others, they have come out from GNU. The culture of GNU, which is that of discussion, debate and tolerance for ideas of the opposite side. Now as they tried to fabricate, they tried to implicate that young boy in whom I see the shadows, the memory of the great revolutionary Bhagat Singh. They tried to implicate by forging a false CD in which certain slogans were given which were not given by this young man Kanhaiya. Now so he was arrested, his two other friends were arrested, and gradually people started talking anti-national, anti-national, anti-national. I must say, this what we saw, this small documentary tells us that anybody who wants to have sectarian, narrow nationalist ideology, these sectarian nationalist ideologies in Europe, they came in the name of race, like Germany and Italy, where they tried to crush the freedom, democracy, workers' rights. Similarly, in India, the type of organizations which came up during freedom movement, we see that two types of organizations came up during the freedom movement. These were two types of nationalism. One was the nationalism represented by Mahatma Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar. This was what they call nationalism, Indian nationalism. This was called as nation in the making, which was trying to include Dalits, women, religious minorities, workers and weaker sections of society into the process of nation building. Now this is what led to freedom movement, freedom of the country and formation of Indian constitution. On the other side, the earlier landed elements, the landlords, the kings of the princely states, who were Hindus and Muslims both, they threw up a intolerant, narrow sectarian politics. One was in the name of Islam, that is Muslim communalism. Another was in the name of Hinduism, that was Hindu communalism. Now these people who came from the landed elements, later on they were joined by some top, elite, educated, upper caste people, but they never participated in the freedom movement. They kept aloof. Now, what was their goal? I will restrict myself to this. Muslim communalism wanted a nation based on Islam. That's how they went on because of British policy of divide and rule. These two communal groups, they were never persecuted, they were never attacked, they were never imprisoned. So finally, because of these policies, on one side, Pakistan came up in the name of Islam and India came up on the grounds of secular democracy. They were not based on the similar ground. So Pakistan, which came up in the name of Islam, later on broke into two parts, Pakistan and Bangladesh. India came up as secular democracy, but unfortunately from last 30-35 years, politics in the name of religion is becoming stronger. This politics in the name of religion always plays with the emotions of people. How did it become stronger? On the pretext of that Shah Bano case, where Shah Bano demanded civil rights. After divorce, she demanded, she had gone to the court for regular maintenance. That was denied. After that, these people intensified their campaign for Ram temple. Now I want to ask, what is the basic thing which is important in our society? Is it bread, butter, shelter, employment, or issues like what you should eat, what you should not eat, where should be the temple built? These type of issues which are brought up by fascist type. We cannot call them exactly fascist, but basically they are sectarian nationalists. These sectarian nationalists, like when Hitler came, he targeted Jews, and he attributed that all our ills are because of the Jews in the country. Jews were persecuted. After the Jews, they persecuted the workers, the communists, and the other religious minorities. In the agenda of Hindu nationalism, which RSS is pursuing, this agenda of Hindu nationalism is basically targeted against Muslim community, targeted against Christian community, but at the same time, it wants to suppress the struggles for caste equality. It wants to suppress the struggles for gender equality. So one of the ideologues of RSS had written, his name is M.S. Golwalkar, and he had written that Hindu nation, this is a Hindu nation. Then in this Hindu nation, we have three internal threats or enemies. First is a Muslim, second is a Christian, third is a communist. By communist, what they mean? All those people who are struggling for human rights, all those people who are struggling for equality, etc., etc. So in India, what we are seeing today, intolerance is because of this type of politics constructed around Hindu nationalism. In Pakistan, people suffered because of Muslim nationalism. In America also, there is a tendency called Christian fundamentalism, and unfortunately, with the new elections which are taking place, the person called Trump, Donald Trump, his strength is trying to tell us that in America also, this Christian fundamentalism is becoming stronger. So in India, Now, coming to India, the real problem is politics in the name of religion. I must tell you, the people who are true religious people, they are very tolerant, they are very broad. Even if people criticize them, they do not react in a negative way. You all must be knowing the story of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When he used to walk from the road, one woman used to throw kachra, muck on him. Daily she used to do it. You know this story more better than me. One day she did not, and then Prophet Sahab visits her and finds out that she is unwell. So this is the attitude which the real religious people take. And the people who want to do politics in the name of religion, it may be in the name of Christianity, Islam, and more so in the name of Hinduism in India, these people are intolerant people. That's why you see, we had Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, father of the nation. He was accommodating people from all religion. He was most tolerant. One example I'll give you. Mahatma Gandhi himself was a devout person believing in non-violence. He was a vegetarian. He did not eat beef. He was not eating beef. People asked him, "You are a Hindu, so why don't you get this eating of the beef banned in your country?" Gandhi said, "I will never do it. The country does not belong only to one religion. Country belongs to all the people of all religions, so this should not be permitted in our country." So starting from there, that's why, because Gandhi had these ideas, one of the volunteers of RSS, Nathuram Godse, who later on joined Hindu Mahasabha, he killed Mahatma Gandhi. Even today what we see intolerance, this intolerance has been constructed either around beef or around ghar wapsi or around love jihad. You young friends, I'll request you, you must study these issues. I am not against any religion. I understand different religions have contributed moral values for human development. But people from 19th century in different countries started using religion as a cover to protect their earlier social interest related to a feudal society, related to the society of kingdom, and that today what we see is a clash of two values. What is this clash of two values? One is a clash of democratic values, which believes in liberty, equality, fraternity. And other type of values are constructed, built around religion. This religious nationalism is a wrong term. Basically, politics in the name of religion, this tries to create emotional issues. Hysterical sentiments are created. People start killing each other. People start showing their intolerance. And that is where, friends, I will request you that we should try to understand that Maulana Abul Kalam Azad may be best of the Muslims, but he was for freedom of country. He was with Indian National Congress. Mahatma Gandhi was best of the Hindus, but he also never talked of Hindu nationalism. People like Jinnah, people like Savarkar, people like Godse, I don't know how much religious they were, but they used religion for their narrow political goals. So friends, what are our challenges? Our challenges are that, number one, we must respect all religions. We must respect difference of opinion. That's what university teaches me. Whole world is a very diverse mosaic. This diverse mosaic has different colors, different opinions, different type of personalities. And the whole human development which has taken place has been because of alliance of diverse ideologies, alliance of different people who may have different opinions, but they come together for a common goal. In India, in the world, unless we learn to be tolerant of others' opinion, we will always remain backward. What is happening in JNU is pushing back our achievement in the area of philosophy, thinking, thought, and nation building. Today also I read they are saying that from universities, anti-national people should be rooted out. Now who defines nationalism? I think the nationalism should be defined only around Indian constitution. What does Indian constitution tell us? Indian constitution tells us that we are all equal irrespective of our religion. We are all equal irrespective of our gender. We are all equal irrespective of our caste. So, as citizens, it is our duty that we preserve this, and nationalism has to be defined mainly around the people like Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Mahatma Gandhi. These are the central figures around whom our concept of nationalism began. So my appeal to young friends like you who are going to become good professionals in your life, what we have to know that along with our own professional life, which is very important for our survival, we have also to think about society. We have also to think about nation. And what do we think about society? We think of the welfare of the society. And in the welfare of the society, we have to think of a integrative society. India's culture, if we see, India's culture is full of these talks of integration between Hindus and Muslims. I see there are many Sufi saints whom Hindus also respect, Muslims also respect. I know various bhakti poets, bhakti saints whom people of all religions follow, because ultimately humanity is one. Ultimately, the core value of every religion is love for the whole humanity. That expresses so well in Islam, that expresses so well in some facets of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. So, if we want to do away with intolerance, at personal level, we have to believe in the morality, in the openness, in the things like which people, Prophet Sahib told us, or Mahatma Gandhi told, or Lord Gautam Buddha told. So this is at one level, and at political level, we must believe in the concept of citizenship, and citizenship is not based on any religion. So I will request you that there are some attempts by this intolerant politics to give the impression that they are doing welfare for the society. Their ideas will make country stronger, but these are precisely the ideas which break our country, which try to divide our country. And a country where such divisive tendencies are there, it cannot progress. So what do you take from this conference is that we have to learn to think of ourselves belonging to one religion, but foremost also we have to think as an Indian. We have to think as an Indian citizen, and we have to think in the global context where values of humanism should prevail in the long term. Thank you very much.
I heard about Mr. Sir, Dr. Ram Bunyani sir before itself, and there was a big doubt inside me, and that was after this Modi government took over the government, then we were hearing about many intolerating issues like, so I can consider our state Kerala itself. From that we heard that they took SNDP as a political party, and they took over Sri Narayana Guru as their leader, and they formulated Sri Narayana Guru in the cover of that Kavi color. Like that, from the beginning itself, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, under a unity.
Your question. Come to the question itself. What is it?
Okay. There were a change of ideology that we are changing our leaders like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, B.R. Ambedkar, Sri Narayana Guru, and all now revolutionary leaders like Kanhaiya Kumar, Rohit Vemula are formulating or cutting away from our history and changing them to leaders of Sangha Parivar or something like that. So why is this type of thought is coming under in our country for last 3 years, or India is moving to a fascist country under a fascist leader like Modi, or Modi is becoming a Benito Mussolini by showing off.
Okay. I think the question is how fascism is rewriting the history.
Question, I must say, Uh, Modi has not come up suddenly. If you know, earlier there was in Gujarat, he was ruling for 15 years, and Modi is a part of RSS. RSS has been working from last 90 years for Hindu nationalism. And RSS, what it has done, it has trained many pracharak, propagators, swayam sevaks, and they are in lakhs and lakhs. In Kerala also, though BJP has not so far won any election, but in Kerala also, the number of RSS propagators is very much. So what does RSS do? Like RSS tries to poison, indoctrinate people's mind into Hindu nationalism. It spreads hatred against Muslims, Christians, and around that, its nationalism is a negative nationalism, reactive nationalism in response to the religious minorities. So I will say that RSS is not the representative of Hindus. It is not representative of Hindus. Earlier also, as I told you, people like Sardar Patel, Pandit Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, there were a lot of people who were Hindus, but they did not believe in Hindu nation. Please try to understand the difference. Now, so there are many Muslims like Maulana Abul Kalam Azad who were Muslims, but they did not believe in Muslim nation. So I hope you can understand. Now, why could Modi come up? Why these things are happening in last 1.5 years? Because this is the first time, because of the other electoral things, BJP could get 31% of votes. It could get absolute majority in Lok Sabha, because of which now they are feeling that they have nothing to fear. So along with BJP, its associated organizations, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Bajrang Dal, Vanvasi Kalyan Ashram, Saraswati Shishu Mandir, and many of these organizations, they have also become active. So please don't identify Modi with Hindus. Modi is not a prime minister. No, Modi is not just he may be born in a Hindu family, but his politics is that of Hindutva, Hindu nationalism. Mahatma Gandhi was also Hindu, Sardar Patel was also Hindu, but they did not believe in Hindu nationalism. So basic thing what we have to distinguish is that religion is religion, politics is different. And whenever politics is done in the name of religion, it turns into authoritarian dictatorship, it can become fascism, it can become a sort of a place where they try to suppress the rights of weaker sections of society. And India, I feel, people like Modi who are in power, they are in power because of BJP, they are in power because of RSS. There is a large RSS combined which does it, and their basic agenda is not just against Muslims. Their agenda is against Muslims, yes. Their agenda is against Christians, yes. But their central agenda is to suppress the human rights of all weaker sections of society. It may be Dalits, it may be women, it may be Adivasi, it may be workers, or any religious minorities. Basically, if you have seen, Modi came to power in conjunction with the corporate world. All the big corporates had spent thousands and thousands of crore through media, through supporting his other thing, that they wanted such a type of a person to be the Prime Minister. So my request is that don't see Modi, RSS, BJP as representative of Hindus. They are not representative of Hindus. If somebody is there to present Hindu values, I will talk about Mahatma Gandhi. I will talk about Pandit Nehru. That is where Hindu religion also stands for tolerance. It talks Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It says whole world is my family. If the whole world is my family, can I hate somebody just because he is not a Hindu? Obviously not. So religion's tendencies need not be intolerant. Politics becomes intolerant, and politics which is narrow, which has smaller goal, that is a type of politics which becomes narrow. Good question. Thank you.
My name is Nawal. I'm coming from NIT Calicut. So my question is, in between the discussions of intolerance and all, I heard that you already said our national policy should be of Mahatma Gandhi and Azad, all. So
Yeah.
in between the discussion, I heard there were lot of contradiction between Gandhi's views and B.R. Ambedkar's views.
Who's way? Who's way?
Ambedkar,
Yeah.
the constitution maker.
Correct.
So, for
Yeah.
the constitution is not so much influenced in our society.
Yeah.
So-
but I got your question.
Okay.
First, see, people try to say that Gandhi and Ambedkar had many differences. I agree. Two great leaders, how can they have the similar opinion? Number one. Number two, they had some differences, but their more part were common to each other. Just say yes or no to me. Did Gandhi and Ambedkar both believe in democracy? Yes or no? Yes. Did they believe in secularism? Yes. Did they believe in liberty, equality, fraternity? Yes. So there were some differences because Ambedkar wanted to push very fast. Ambedkar wanted a total abolition of caste even when we had not got the independence. So there was a Pune Pact which Gandhi said that you should not have separate electorate. That was the issue on which Gandhi and Ambedkar had lot of differences. Now what was Gandhi's limitation? Gandhi was the representative of whole country. He was trying to take upper caste, low caste, this religion, that religion, so that our fight against British can be effective, so that we can become independent. That's why sometimes he did not accept Ambedkar's opinions 100%. But still Gandhi accepted Ambedkar's opinion that yes, there should not be untouchability. Let me tell you, when India became independent, Pandit Nehru became the Prime Minister. Pandit Nehru was drawing the list of cabinet members who will be the ministers. So Nehru came to Gandhi to consult. He used to call Gandhi as Bapu. He came with a list on the paper and he says, Bapu, I have drawn the list of cabinet ministers, just have a look. Gandhi says, just tell me one thing. Gandhi tells Nehru, just tell me one thing. Is Ambedkar's name there? Nehru says, yes, his name is there. Then Gandhi says, I don't have to see any other list. List is approved. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Second, when Constituent Assembly came up, there was a discussion as who will be the chairman of drafting committee. Again, Nehru, as a good disciple of his, good disciple of father of the nation, he goes to Gandhi. He asks Bapu, who you think should be the best person to be the chairman of Constituent Assembly? Gandhi takes half a minute to answer that for this job, Ambedkar will be very good. So you see, there are some differences, but both of them are operating in the democratic secular framework. Like today, what people are trying to say, Ambedkar and Gandhi are differences, and these people many a times are trying to project Ambedkar as anti-Muslim, Ambedkar as this, Ambedkar as that. That's a clever ploy by RSS to defame Gandhi, to defend Indian nationalism, and mainly to target Muslims. Please let me warn you. What they are trying to target Gandhi, actually they are trying to target all the policies of Gandhi for which he stood, which is primarily Hindu-Muslim unity. Let me tell you, the central point of Gandhi's focus was Hindu-Muslim unity. Today, they are remembering Gandhi not for Hindu-Muslim unity. Actually, they are worsening that. They are remembering Gandhi by giving him broom in his hand. Swachhata Abhiyan, cleanliness drive. They don't want to remember Gandhi for his real contribution, but they have to remember Gandhi because they can't ignore Gandhi. So what to do? Okay, Gandhi was a man for cleanliness, so he becomes symbol for a broom, he becomes symbol for all and all that. I think the real homage to Gandhi is to talk about Hindu-Muslim unity, communal harmony, national integration, and values of tolerance and liberalism. That's what I think we should have. Thank you.
My name is Mohammad Mohsin. I'm from Government College of Engineering, Kannur. My question is regarding one of the most discussed topic in the recent history regarding intolerance, 194A. The sedition charges being formed on 194A is constitutional, formed by IPC. The Britishers wrote it down, it is still existing in our constitution.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, is there any step that is being taken by our governments on this basis? And also what is the actual basis on 194A?
See, I am not a lawyer, let me be honest. But let me tell you, the sedition laws were made by British, and Mahatma Gandhi, Lokmanya Tilak, they were imprisoned under that. They were given punishment under that. Today, there is no place for a sedition law. And what is being done in JNU is totally morally, ethically wrong. Because if we have difference of opinion, with this government, we don't become anti-national. Hello, what is democracy? Democracy means there is a ruling party, there is an opposition party, ruling people have one view, we can have another view. Sedition means what? Only one thing can be criminal under law, as Soli Sorabji pointed out, that when somebody incites people to do violence, that is anti-national. Shouting slogans, criticizing the government is not anti-national at all. And I will request you two things. If you have not seen, you should see Kanhaiya Kumar's speeches on YouTube. First speech once he was released, second speech when he gave interview to Vinny. There are a lot of them. You must see them. Why? They give us a proper idea as to what is going on. Because here, Delhi police, in collaboration with the Home Ministry, they are trying to ensure that all progressive, liberal, broad-minded values are abolished. And that's why they are trying to use this sedition law, and that's why it has come to focus. How many people have been charged under sedition law in independent India? Not many. There are so many movements. Let me recall the first person who said that we don't want to remain in India. His name was C.N. Annadurai. He was that time Tamil Nadu. Hindi was being imposed. Annadurai said, we don't want Hindi. We don't want to be in India. Pandit Nehru was Prime Minister at that time. What did he do? He looked at him, he smiled and went away. No sedition, nothing. And after that, actually they reviewed the policies whether we should impose Hindi as a national language. So Tamil Nadu is very much a part of India. You see, northeastern countries, many of the leaders in northeast, they went to United Nations to say that we don't want to be in India. We want a separate state. So what does it matter? Like, people have their opinion, they agitate for that, and there is a strong government. The strength comes not from police, strength comes from ideology. If your ideology is strong, you can win over the people to your side, and you can have a good nation where good development can take place.
So my name is Ibrahim Ali Salim. I am from Alpura Medical College. So in my friend circle, there are my friends all belong to different religions, and they all have their own circles as well, which belong to like WhatsApp circles relating to different religions. And in the context, in the present context, in the anti-national issue and all, there are a lot of discussions going on, and so. We all know that there is a little bit of religious tension rising in the minds of each of us, and we prefer not to discuss it in our friend circle.
Yeah.
So, because we are afraid that it can break or create cracks in our friendship.
Yeah.
So I would like to know how we can tackle this problem. I think most of us can relate to this.
Yeah, that's, I think, also very good question. I must say all questions were good. This is also very good. Basic first point is, friends, unless we know the things, we can't communicate it to others. The whole beginning of the journey begins with us. So first is, you should know what is communalism, how communalism developed in India, what is religious nationalism, whatever I told you in bullet points. In this limited time, I could not carry in detail. But there are a lot of places, like there is one website, if I refer you, that my friend Tista Setazwar says, www.sabrangindia.in. Similarly, there is another website, pluralindia.com. That is my own website. So on these websites, we keep posting articles on these things. Then there are many books also which give us the background of Indian history. Professor Bipan Chandra's books are there. Asghar Ali's engineers' books are all there. I have also tried to contribute something. So these things, first is that if you can make a small group amongst yourselves, with some people who are progressive, You try to read, you try to understand, and there are many YouTube videos. Please note, many YouTube videos of Tisa Setalwad, mine videos, they are there, and they deal with all these topics. Even our Facebook page is there. You can like those pages. So these all information keeps coming to you. Now, automatically, you are a medical student. Can you treat the patient without understanding the subject? First, you have to understand the subject. You have to understand what is medicine, medicine, surgery, pharmacology, forensic science, all that you have to understand. Then you can treat. So here also, some understanding we have to develop. And for that, I am telling you, there are some websites. Some of you can be in communication with us. We'll try to see, this is such a good, lovely gathering. If we can disseminate these ideas, and as I told you, YouTube videos. At least there are 60, 70 very good YouTube videos. One Tata TISS Foundation course video is there. Just have a look. So probably I can give this to my friends here who can pass this information to you if this is useful. You must try to develop your own understanding. Without developing your understanding, don't engage with these debates. Especially as a Muslim, it becomes very counterproductive. We have to be guarded. We have to engage with this. We have to try to understand what type of propaganda is being done. We have to try to understand it, but we can't answer very simply. So some of you in each city, you must be from many cities, make a small group which meets once a week, once a month. You try to give the list of references which I'll give to your friends, and from those references, all contemporary articles are coming. Sorry to be giving one advertisement. Last week, Outlook magazine, there is a cover story with Smriti Irani in her fiery mode. Just go through that Outlook issue. 3-4 articles are very good which give the contemporary thing. I read one article by Prem Shankar Jha. Again, excellent article. So I will forward those things to you, and then you learn yourself how to locate these materials and how to follow that. Once you are equipped, you can definitely, even if you can't counter them fully, at least you know what is wrong in their method, and then you can begin to counter that. Okay? So nice talking to you, friends. Thank you.